And for more on this, we're now delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest, Dr. Gamal Qalyoubi, Professor of Petroleum and Energy Engineering. Dr. Gamal, good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir, for your time this afternoon and for joining us on Cairo Watch. Let's begin specifically by a question about infrastructure modifications at the Happy Gas Terminal, which are required to seamlessly process the 200 million cubic feet of gas and over 4,400 barrels of condensate daily coming from the Harmattan field.
Well, you know, that's the visit today was very serious and very important to encourage all peoples and dedicated in that situation that our country is in needing for incomplete our needs of the gas, the domestic gas. One of the important that one had been promoted by the Prime Minister of Petroleum, Mr. Karim Badawi, that he willing to improve and encourage the all projects under processing and also encourage the exploration phase, which has been discussed many times with all foreign companies in the country. One of that part is British Petroleum, which is deal with the government in a company. It's called Pharaonic. That Pharaonic company was the subject of the visit today. Pharaonic was producing almost 32% of gas production in Egypt in conjunction with any Italian company and also with Shell and a part of Apache. The portion of British Petroleum in Pharaonic company is still in going and still under progress for some development wells and also exploration phase. Today was a long discussion and also bridging discussion between Minister of Petroleum and the chairman of the Pharaonic company in that visit, and already highlighted that the Harmattan, a new field which is under development by drilling some wells, and expected to be going to finish all that drilling campaign before the end of this year. And in the same time that the Minister of Petroleum tried to hang in the almost way to proceed and facilitate quickly that development in terms of time, and also to prepare in advance the connection line between the field and the closest facilities, which is Happy Field, close to that field. So the production line, which is extended to 50 kilometers from Harmattan field to the closest production platform, which are Happy far distance, 50 kilometers, and this is under applying and execute by NB. That's our one of a great company in the structure of the petroleum section.
Dr. Gamal, let's talk a bit about the expected net contribution. We've seen the minister's directions to expedite the Harmattan field connection. What is the expected net contribution now of this 6 wells, 40 million cubic feet per day, of course to cater for the Egyptian domestic need as well as the grid supply once it comes online and starts fully functioning?
The part fully function is related to Harmattan field. One expected to produce 200 million cubic feet per day, and that's expected the scheduled time before the end of 2026.
Right.
The other part was in discussion that there is 3 areas, which in North Denyetta, Ras El Bar, and El Porg, Navi area, which is 3 areas under exploration phase. Part of that one, which a field port, and there is one exploratory well, one development well in Ras El Bar area, which is Sort 6, we're expected to produce before end of this year 40 million cubic feet per day, in addition to 4,400 barrel condensate. The third one, or the second one, is the exploration phase, which is contributed by 2 exploratory wells. One well is called West Atoll, and West Atoll that's in the area of North Damietta, with expected to start by a new rig, that's Valaris DS-12. Valaris, one of the international drilling company for drill ship, and when expected that one, the semi-sub, that to be close to this area by the first quarter of 2027 next year.
Right.
In addition to that one, there is also an exploratory well, it's called Pipino, and this one well in the area of Vilporga, and that's the exploratory well, and this will be next the North Atoll campaign, since finished in the first quarter of 2027. That by this condition that we will have some progression to add to the net, the domestic net,
yes,
up to 250 million cubic feet per day by end of 2026. And soon as they start the campaign of drilling in an exploratory, also there is a campaign to be settled as soon as we have the discovery.
Right, this is very important, and this leads me to my next question. Tell us a bit about the direct financial benefits that this gas delivery brings to heavy industries in Egypt, for example, fertilizers, steel, power generation, all catering for Egyptian energy needs, in terms of avoiding, of course, the costly fuel switching or other alternatives like factory downtime, for example.
You know what? That's the production, the consumption of Egypt per day, which we talk about the 3 months of hot weather, which is start of July,
yes,
August, and also in September. You will find that as soon as the temperature is high, the consumption of gas is coming high. The normal of Egypt in consumption per day, it's between 6.5 billion cubic feet per day, but that value had been increased by number to 7 billion cubic feet per day in the 3 months, which is hot weather. For that reason, in summer condition, the consumption rate of the power station in Egypt started 3 billion cubic feet per day, which to 3.7 or up to 4 billion cubic feet per day in summer. In addition to the petrochemistry factory, we talk about the heavy industry factories, which like cement, like steel, like also ceramic, in addition to glass, all such heavy industry. That's the highly consumption rate of the gas, and that's come to 1.4 billion cubic feet per day. Petrochemistry and infratizing, both to industry that's very serious and important,
yes,
to the exported file in Egypt, and for that reason the high level in the country was take care about these two industries, petrochemistry and infiltration industry. That is really important to supply by gas, and the Ministry of Petroleum was insisted to keep the supply of the gas for that such industry.
Yes.
In addition to the domestic houses and also the gas station, both all that branches, they already try to arrange the consumption rate by 2 things. First, to keep the importing in consequences for needs of the gas, and also secure the all currently production gas in Egypt, which almost 4 billion cubic feet per day, and the missing part try to be fulfill the requirements from time to time, soonest the discovery or the development field has been construction and linked with the production to reduce the value of importing the gas outside.
Of course. Now, you spoke about the prospective yield of the planned Benyo well in the Ras Al Barr block. How does this compare to the current production averages across North Damietta as well as the El Bourga offshore concessions?
Total production for Onyx is coming from many fields, Atoll, Fayoum, Reven, also Aachen, Happy, all these Tort, all these fields. It's many types of fields. The average production daily is range between 0.9 to 1.1 billion cubic feet per day, which this value is still very strategic value for the all-inclusive production map to the Egypt. And for that reason, whenever we try to develop or accelerate the development of such fields, or to also discover new areas, we need to facilitate and try to accelerate all things that's needed to link that directly to the domestic net. And for that reason, the average is still for this main field is still very valuable for the country. And for that reason, from time to time, the Prime Minister of Petroleum was focused and focalized to improve and encourage from time to time and pay a visit from time to time to keep the all activities in high level, and also the awareness of the people to keep an eye on the needs of the country.
Indeed. Now also a very important issue that I want to deal with is how the company plans to maintain 100% production targets into 2026-27 fiscal year, as of course several Mediterranean fields are undergoing issues like natural decline, for example.
You know, the company, as explained by chairman of that company, Mr. Sam, was illustrated well what the plan in terms of supplying, in terms of finance, in terms also for the schedule plan for drilling or schedule plan for production, and also all facilities to be ready to obtain that production soon as they have been linked by the infrastructure. For that reason, try to explain that all infrastructure had been ready for that one, also all facilities, also finance goals, all supplying, all such agreement contracts with the service company and contract with the rig company. All this has been scheduled to meet the commitment of the company with the government to supply the 240 million cubic feet per day, and additional to the project when it started, which will expected to be started in the first quarter of 2027.
Right. Finally, Dr. Gamal, let me ask you about future projects in this regard and the importance of the continued exploration projects and the continued production specifically in these fields alongside the newly explored fields.
Well, that's a really good question. Let me to explain to you that currently, as soon as we have been finalized the whole financial meeting between us and the foreigners, the government succeeds in the last 6 months to fulfill the requirements of all the rest of the money which has been the rights of many of the company exploration foreigners we have. For that reason, as soon as they gain their money, we have already many discussion and meetings between the EGPC authority of Egypt for petroleum and also the e-gas authority in Egypt have been setting many meetings with all foreigners company in Egypt. They already revised with them their exploration plan, their development plans for the all discoveries which had been suspended or delayed to be developed. And for that reason you will find that we have currently now Shell International developed the new field, which is Mina field, that's in Abu Qir area. We have also several
developments.
Also Nargis field, which is in south of Mediterranean, and they expected to finish that development by the first quarter of 2027 to put the gas link with the domestic line.
Very good.
Also, there is under now developed, there is Eni, Italian company with Petrobel. They have West Denis project, and they expected to start the development campaign by the fourth quarter of 2026, and plan to finish that one by mid of 27. We have also a development Prospecto company in some areas for develop a deep delta marine field. There is also some of development and also exploration phase with Pharaonic company, which is a very visit today's subject.
Yes.
And you will find that we have a lot of development fields currently supported by the Prime Ministry and also by Ministry of Petroleum to accelerate that development of drilling wells and finalize this as soon as possible to put it on the domestic list to fulfill the requirements and reduce the importing of the gas from outside.
Right. Many thanks, Dr. Gamal Qalyoubi, the Professor of Petroleum and Energy Engineering. Many thanks, sir, for your time and insight and for joining us this afternoon on Cairo Watch. We take a short break and we'll be back.